In this episode, we will talk about why the women in the Philippines always ask for money. To spread the truth, subscribe, like, share. Don't be lazy. Have you noticed how often women in the Philippines seem to be in need of money? Anytime you are speaking to someone, they seem to be in dire need of money. There's always some sort of emergency or some situation in which they need your money right away, today. What happened? Why is this always the case? How come they do not plan ahead of time? How come they don't have any savings? Where are their family, friends, or why don't they have a job? So many simple questions. Why does a woman in her mid-20s does not have a job? Makes no sense. But if you know the Philippines, then you would understand. Firstly, of course, lack of opportunities in this country. And even to get the basic job, 500 pesos a day, they have to jump through hoops, complete unnecessary bureaucratic nonsense, even for the Pinoy people themselves. So of course, they don't want to do it. They're lazy. That's the entire mentality of that country. Island time, always. Sabay sabay. They don't care that much. There's zero sense of urgency in their lifestyle. Plus, why would they work for 500 a day when they can make 5,000 in less than 30 minutes, even 5 minutes, 10 minutes, when men across the world would just send them money as long as they are online, blink their eyelashes and maybe show a little bit of skin, they have 1 month's worth in just under half an hour. Who would want to work? Why are there so many women in the malls? What are they doing? Where do they get the money from? I think we all know the answer. I will also read you a story. Someone says, I often say that Filipinos shoot themselves in the foot or cry wolf due to how they more often than not start with continual requests for money and eventually leading to lies and excuses to get what they want when they wouldn't need it if they would just be honest, or at least keep the friendship relationship going with minimal requests for when real issues arise, you would help with that question. That's another thing. Pinoys are so simple-minded, they don't think long-term. They don't think ahead. They don't think if I was just this person's friend, not even romantic relationships. If you have a genuine friend as a man in the Pinoy land, that's also acceptable. I would actually much rather have a genuine connection with someone who can help me through day-to-day survival in this country, to get around, to visit places, to eat at restaurants, check out new islands, do all kinds of things with someone, even if it was strictly as a friend, if I genuinely trust them. If I know that they're a good human being, of course, I would pay for everything and help them out when they need it, if they're genuinely friendly and kind to me for me being a human, not an ATM. However, no woman thinks that way. Firstly, because every man wants to sleep with the woman. I understand. However, if boundaries are set at the beginning, some men, like myself, would not mind a friend if they're genuine 100%. I can just sleep with someone else if I need that fix, but I would much rather have a friend that actually truly cares about me than just my money. They don't think long term. For example, if you want to sleep with someone and they offer you their price at, let's say, 5,000, but you say, I want to have a regular thing. I will give you 3 every time we meet. They don't think that way. For 3 times 7 is 21. But they only think about the 5, just the one time. And you never see me again. So would you rather make 5,000 one time or 21,000 weekly? They don't think that way. They do not know how to process simple things. Let's go back to this story. The man continues by saying, I just wanted to share some of the tactics I've experienced. I know they do have genuine need for money, but it's the way they go about it. If you send once, the requests can start to come almost daily as they continually think up new urgent issues as they think they've found a bottomless ATM. Borrowing money. I guess it sounds nicer, but you can guarantee the idea of paying it back is never brought up. Not that you need it back, but at least don't treat us like we are stupid. Asking for more than they need also. Again, if they were honest, you'd throw a few extra dollars anyways, but they never need just 500 pesos. It's always a common amount around 2,000 or 200, 500. You only grow more suspicious when as soon as you are agree, needing 1,000 increases suddenly to 1,500. Supposedly because of the fees of the collecting the money when sent as mobile money like Gcash. But I'm sure it's only about 20 pesos per 1,000 or something like that. Or it's I just remembered we also have another bill today suddenly. Last time. When they get more desperate, they will pull out the last time. But if you known a Filipina for any length of time, it's just the first of many last times. Threats of pawning their phone. This one always comes up after a few days of you refusing to send money. It's blackmail of sorts, as then they would not be able to chat with you, but the next day they're still online. If questioned, it's because they borrowed a phone. Expecting imminent arrival of an order. Cash on delivery. Funny how they never ask permission prior to ordering it. You only hear about it on the day of the arrival, but it's got that urgent appeal, and if it's now the day of the arrival, the order might never arrive if questioned to see it, hoping you will forget about it within days, or they might show a possession they already own, even if it's different. Urgent bills. Other reasons. It's always at the point where the electricity or water will be cut off today. You might have to send 500 pesos just yesterday to help out with food, but now, out of nowhere, the power is getting cut off. It didn't get cut off last month before she knew you. Other urgent reasons can be legit, but their timing is always questionable. Like the teacher suddenly requested her child needs new school clothes. It's Saturday. Teacher just messaged me today. Sure she did. Frequent sickness, well, this is one, is very common, of course. If it's not themselves, some will often have their children fake sickness, and now they need 1,000 pesos for fever. If it's legit, they can get an aspirin at the sari-sari for mere pesos, or a bottle of medicine from the chemist, or probably no more than 500 pesos. Doctors' visits can get extended from one visit into 3 or more. Several reasons mentioned here. Of course, every single trick in the book, I'm sure we've all heard if we've talked to anyone online. From toothaches, tooth extractions, grandmothers being sick, buffaloes being sick, anything you can think of. They are becoming more clever. The really smart ones will play the long game, but they're becoming even more rare as women are getting desperate. It's very similar to men. For example, how many times have you spoken to someone online and you have no intentions of a genuine relationship, but you wouldn't mind smashing that woman, or at least doing once or twice and just getting rid of her? Men are also the same, but in a different way. Some of us lie. We say we want a relationship just to sleep with them, but that's unnecessary in the Pinoy land. My point is, it's always the same. These women know the same thing as you. They look at you, they know they don't want no future, but they want your money. So why not just say whatever they have to do? They don't want to put in the effort to get to know you, to actually meet you in person, to spend a little bit of time to see if there's even chemistry or compatibility. These things are nothing new. If you ever lend anyone money in the Pinoy land, you'll never get it back. Never. Pinoys will never give their money back to you. There's always an excuse. Next week, next month, something else came up. Before you know it, you end up giving even more money to get them off your case. These are things that happen regularly. Let me know, what excuses have you heard from women asking for money? The other one that really annoys me is load, data. Why am I speaking to someone that can't afford 50 pesos a week, even if they are at least 19 or 20 years old? Where is your family? Why does this happen? It doesn't make any sense. Why don't you go to a mall, somewhere with Wi-Fi? How are you living in 2024 without Wi-Fi? If you are that poor, I don't want to have anything to do with you. Because think of it this way. If you have to pay 50 pesos just for load, how much more money does she need to survive and to live? Where is she getting food from? Her clothes, her school, her necessities? Why am I even speaking to someone that's 19 years old? A mere teenager. Those are the type of women you should just simply pay for and then move on to some proper woman for a relationship. As men, you have to decide exactly what do you want. Why are you coming to this country? What is it that brings you here? Because it sure as shit ain't cost of living. You're not saving any money in this country. Every day becomes a hassle. You can't save money if you want to live like a local, but trust me, you don't. You think you would once you live here, unless it's absolutely necessary. Unless you don't have more than 5 to 1,000 a month, then sure, maybe come here and live in the province somewhere so you can have a decent looking woman. That's understandable. There are many ways to do the Philippines trip and vacation and even living here. But believe me when I tell you, if you think you could come here and be a king for $1,000 a month like some of these morons tell you online, you are completely fooling yourself. Let's read a comment of someone else who responded to the story, who says, Wifey's family, all of her brothers asked to borrow money and pay back with promises. Even the religious brother, one by one, they failed to pay back. Every time a brother would ask to borrow, the wife said to him that if you break your promise to pay back, my husband, me, would blacklist you in the future, and no matter the crisis, usually farm, fertilizers, etc., no money would ever be lent to them again. She pleaded with them to be honest, sincere, to pay back with their golden promises, or they would sabotage their future financial support with us. Well, every brother got blacklisted. And, yes, they asked again after they stole our money. And you are damn right into thinking I never let them borrow money again. It happened with family and with Filipino to Filipino. That is why they hold titles to properties, business licenses from the municipality, etc. To those who borrow to help ensure payback, we never lend money past family, and we do not do them now based on past history. Of course, as mentioned, there are times when it is true the crisis and some help could be rendered knowing that there is no access to money on their part. Getting past the drama that is fake and knowing the person and their life for real might help one offer some money, but knowing the odds one will never get back that money. Never expect to receive your money back. If you want to give money to someone, simply consider it a charity. If you can visually see proof that they are in need, that is up to you. But I promise you, 99% of the time, it's all BS. Actually, I would say over 99%, it's all bullshit. An excuse to get money from you, to extract money from you, and they never intend to give it back because they know most likely you will not do anything about it because you're just a moron foreigner in their country. They do not care at all about your feelings and how disrespectful they might be or what is right and wrong. None of these things matter. It is time to look at yesterday's best and worst comment. The best comment comes from J. Santiago, who says, must be careful, they may steal your money or valuables while you're sleeping or in the bathroom. In which I responded, that's why you never let them sleep over. Make that very clear from the start. That is a rule of mine. If I'm meeting a woman and I intend to see her regularly or even one night, I make it very clear that they will not sleep over. There's no need. I don't care. I will pay that extra taxi fare for them to go back. It's not my problem where she sleeps. I don't want a strange woman sleeping in my bed. Not to mention it's uncomfortable for me personally, sleeping with a stranger. Also the safety, like this person mentioned, them stealing all your valuables, and even more important than your money is your passport. Imagine being passportless in the Pinoy land. It's a nightmare. So, whenever possible, do not allow these women to sleep over. If a woman insists on sleeping over, I simply tell them that I have work. I work overnight, and it's a privacy issue. No one can be in the room as I do video calls. Even if they insist they will stay behind the camera, I say no. Or I let them know it's against the Airbnb rules to have more than one occupant and I'll be kicked out. Whatever the excuse, you don't have to be honest. They're full of shit, so you can be full of shit too. The worst comment is from Fight Fight Fight, another fake video from a faker who's never been to the Philippines, probably never ventured far from the bedroom in mommy and daddy's home. With that voice, I have to wonder, is he transitioning to a she or the other way around? Extremely high levels of hormones in either case would affect the vocal cords that badly. At least he/she, it reads from prepared text slightly better than Biden. My feelings are hurt. I am so sad now. Thanks for watching. God bless.